What's up, One Pride? RachelMarieSports here once again to talk about the Detroit Lions 2020 schedule and my win-loss predictions for the season. Let's just go ahead and hop right into it. Week 1, home opener versus the Chicago Bears. I'm not really sure if fans are going to be able to attend this game, but if they are, I really hope that you guys show out at Ford Field. Our main advantage against the Bears? The man himself, number 9, Matthew Stafford. Mitchell Trubisky just cannot compare. And as long as our defense has improved, as it appears to, I'm not scared to see him in Ford Field. I've got our Lions taking the W in week 1 and picking off Trubisky at least twice, maybe starting the conversation as to whether or not Trubisky should be the starter in Chicago. Week 2, we travel out to where the refs screw us the most and play the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau Field. This means that we're actually starting off the season with 2 division games back to back. These games are going to set the tone if you ask me, because if we win both, we start off 2-0 in the division straight out of the gate. Luckily for us, the Packers chose not to add any weapons to Aaron Rodgers' arsenal, and in fact, may have caused some discord by drafting his future replacement. So what does that mean for our visit to Lambeau? Well, first of all, it means an improved secondary in Detroit versus a stagnant receiving core in Green Bay. But on the other hand, are we going to be able to stop the run, and can we hold Aaron Jones? At the end of the day, we're always keeping it close with the pack and playing competitively. I think we take the W in Lambeau, and on our way out the door with our middle fingers up to the refs and Aaron Rodgers' family applauding from their living room. Current season record, 2-0. Week 3, we stay on the road, and I'm having PTSD style flashbacks as I even think about this, but we go to Arizona to face the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals had a pretty impressive offseason if you ask me. With the addition of DeAndre Hopkins and the drafting of Isaiah Simmons, they've made moves to bolster both the offense and the defense. This has got to be a game we want to win so bad, right? Revenge tour 2020, right? To me, this is almost too close of a game to call this early on, but sadly, I'm gonna give the Lions their first L here. Unless we're really rolling off of those first 2 games and really feeling ourselves, but for the sake of not predicting us going 16-0, here we are, 2-1. Week 4, we have our homecoming game back at Ford Field before our once again early bye week versus Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints. Historically speaking, we actually play really well versus the Saints at home, and with the addition of Desmond Trufant, we can look forward to a corner who's faced Michael Thomas twice a year up until now. But even though I see this game being highly competitive and us holding our own, I just don't feel confident enough in our adjustments on the defensive line to feel that we can stop Kamara. So we enter our bye week at a respectable 2-2. Week 5, bye week. Early bye week. Again. Boo! If you can tell, I'm not particularly a fan of the early bye weeks. Week 6, we start off of our bye week by heading down to Florida to face off against the ever-hurting, we have that in common, Jacksonville Jaguars. This is a win for me all day. If you can't come off of a bye and beat the Jaguars, well, I mean, come on now. I see this being the Lions' first double-digit win of the season. Stafford has a field day, KG and Jones go crazy, and Lions fans sleep well that night with bellies full of beer and munchies and dreams of playoff wins and Super Bowls. Record to this point, 3-2. Week 7, short trip staying on the road up to Atlanta to play the Falcons. Now, Matty Ice and Matty Stafford showdowns have historically been ones for the books. However, I'm not confident in Matty Ice being the Matty Ice of the past, and I'm not overly concerned about their addition of the injury-prone Gurley. I've got us rolling with 2 straight wins on the road here, although I do think Atlanta keeps it closer than Jacksonville. As long as we're not robbed of any touchdowns at the goal line, cough cough a la Golden Tate, then I think we win this. Current record, 4-2. Week 8, we head back home again to face off against the Indianapolis Colts, now led by Super Dad himself, one Mr. Phillip Rivers. I see interceptions in our future for this game, quite possibly even easy ones. While I don't see this being a blowout, and yes, I know I'm starting to sound like I'm drinking a lot of the Kool-Aid here, I see us taking the W in this one as well and making it 3 straight, thanks to Phillip Rivers' inaccuracies, much like our win against the Chargers last season. Record after this game, 5-2. Week 9, we travel out to see another one of our NFC North rivals, the Minnesota Vikings in Minneapolis. Now, the Vikings have been giving us a really hard time over these past couple of seasons, and although their top-tier defense has been torn apart in the offseason, I really find it hard to believe that we can sweep them. I have us losing this one on the road to the Vikes, and looking back and feeling like we could have pulled it out if it wasn't for a particular play here or there. Probably something to do with Dalvin Cook, who has definitely gotten to eat versus our Lions. Record, 5-3. Week 10, back home again to Ford Field to face off against the Washington Redskins. I'm not going to say much about this game other than we better win to fix the embarrassment that was last season when we lost to them. And I think that we do confidently. Record now, 6-3. Week 11, back on the road again down to Carolina to face off against a very different looking Panthers team. A new head coach, loss of key defensive players, and a young quarterback at the helm has me inclined to say that we'll take the W here, but one thing is stopping me, and that one thing is Christian McCaffrey. The Lions tend to struggle significantly against dual threat running backs, and McCaffrey is the best of the best at it. I hope that we can be pleasantly surprised, but I'm not sure that Carolina needs much else besides him to pull this out in a close one. Record, 6-4. Week 12, Thanksgiving Day game. Always one of my favorite games of the year. And we welcome the Houston Texans. With my lack of faith in Bill O'Brien, the loss of Hopkins, and this being Watson's first time on the primetime Thanksgiving Day stage, that and the Lions being due for a win before some turkey, I'm calling this a W. Now let's eat. Record, 7-4. Week 13. Now we head out to Chicago to face the Bears there. And although I'm not overly scared, for some reason it's proven hard to sweep the Bears in these series. Something about that Chicago cold. I think we take a loss here that leaves us shaking our heads. New record, 7-5. Week 14. Now this feels familiar. We're following up Chicago by playing Green Bay for the second time this season, but this time at home. And yep, I'll say it, I think we're gonna sweep the pack. And I think we're gonna do so that we can pleasantly wave Aaron Rodgers out the door as Jordan Love takes over. But let's be real, we're never getting blown out by Green Bay, and with the state of their team, if not now, then when? So I think we're sitting at 8-5 and not looking in the rearview mirror at the Rodgers era. Week 15, last away game of the season, and it's quite a doozy as we head south to face the Tennessee Titans. I'll just come out and say it. I'm scared of Derrick Henry, but who isn't? And that Tennessee defense ain't so bad either. So I'm calling this a loss, and we're coming out of this week 8-6. Week 16, home sweet home for the final 2, but dun dun dun! Here come the Tom Brady-led Tampa Bay Buccaneers. How do you feel when you see Tom Brady leading one of the best wide receiver corps in the NFL into Ford Field? Maybe Patricia can game plan for it, but in the case that he can't, my gut says this is definitely an L, but my heart says, screw you, gut, let's win this. But a loss, more realistically, bringing us to 8-7. Week 17, at home versus the Minnesota Vikings. Let's end this thing. I think we shock the Vikings fans and ourselves and win this one to split the division games in an epic fashion. We're 9-7. Are we a wild card team? And if so, how do we stack up? But we're gonna wait to see for all of that. With all this to be said, I think our specialty as a team is being competitive no matter who we play. We always have a chance to win. And the difference this year is going to be, can we finish those games? Because if we can, I think we stand a real shot at even beating the record that I just gave. But if we can't, well then, we're liable to lose just as many. But ever the optimist, I am so excited to see what this season holds. I cannot wait to watch some football, you guys. Thank you for watching this video, and if you liked it, don't forget to give a thumbs up and make sure that you're subscribed. And comment below what you think your prediction for the season is and which game you're most excited for. Don't forget to follow along on social media. On Instagram, you're looking for @RachelMarieSports. On Facebook, RachelMarieSports. And on Twitter, @RachelMarieSports. And as always, one pride.